Okay, Joanne, this is hopefully the last video, but maybe not. This one is about the Netgear router, and I want to show you a few things that have been built up since I loaded the software and set up the router for you. If, the way I've constructed it is, if you go under All Programs, and you'll see that there is a folder for the Netgear router. In that folder are two different things you can click on. The first one is the setup. That is it's a web-based or a Firefox-based printout essentially, but it's got some links into it. Let me show you what happens when you click on it. So here you can see that the ID for your router is named RU. It's got the security type is WPA WPA2. That's just a security protocol. Here's your password. If you ever need to let someone else that has a notebook computer come to your house and they want to log into it, there's your password just so you remember it, Joanne123. Now if you want to log into the router itself, because the router can be configured and managed, and I'll show you that in a minute, here's where the login name is admin and the login password is password. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. If you go down here below, there's a few links here which are useful, and they'll just open up in Firefox when you click on them. One is to the Netgear's homepage. You don't really need that. But one is to log into the router. Now, there's a couple of ways you can log into the router. One is you can go to this page first, and just to remind you how I got here, you go here and go to the router setup. Another one is the router login, which is right here. That'll take you the same way as this one does. So I'm going to close this one out and take you through the regular way. So if you want to log into your router, as I mentioned, the wireless router has a whole bunch of functions and capabilities, most of which are pretty advanced. You probably don't want to do it. But this is where you log in, and it's admin and PASSWORD, and it logs you into the router. Now, this looks like you're out on the internet, but it's not. This is a web-based access to the router itself. So you're not out on the internet here. You're talking to your router. And with this site, you can do a number of things like have the router block sites. If you know certain sites you don't want John to be accessing or something like that, you can put sites in here. If you want to put in certain emails and things, you can set those up through the router. I'm not real savvy on all this stuff, and I don't usually go in here and set things up. I know it's useful if you're a gamer and you want to do some special forwarding, things like that. So, but just in general, I just wanted you to be aware of this in case I ever sometime ask you to log into your router itself and check on how things are going. I mentioned basic settings. I think you can see some of those here. Somewhere in here you can probably also check the status of your router as far as, not static routes, usually you can go in and look at the statistics to see how fast your router is working. But if you want to know more about it, this is how you get to it. I'm not going to go too much more detail here, but other than to show you that you can set it up. This one thing is, let's see, basic settings, wireless settings. Here's, as I mentioned, this is if you wanted to change your password, you could go under wireless settings. This could change the password if you wanted to, things like that. All right.